Hi there, it's Shelby from Sponge. I think we've all been in the position of sending an email through our marketing automation platform that, in hindsight, we shouldn't have. Sometimes it's a really embarrassing mistake. Sometimes it genuinely affects relationships with our customers and prospects. Sometimes it's just also though not good enough. And if you're in either boat, serious or just trying to dial it up, this checklist is going to help you consistently QA your emails so that you're really proud of them. A lot of this, though, to me is about process. You need to be in the right headspace to QA. It cannot be at 4:45 when the email needs to go out in 15 minutes and you got the requirements 10 minutes ago. That's a great way to send a bad email. My recommendation is always to take a break. Just get up from your desk, close the window, 5 minutes will help. I find if I don't, I actually am more likely to read what I meant to write instead of reading what I wrote, for example. I find a lot more typos basically when I take a break first. I also recommend giving QA its due. You should budget 30 minutes, not multitasking. This is a real process. And if you're sending a lot of emails every week, this might be an absolute luxury, but at the very least, for the ones that are high visibility, high risk, make sure you're setting yourself up for success and booking a solid block of time. And then just like pilots, just like surgeons, you use a checklist. You should not be worrying about, did I do all the steps in my QA process, when you can just check it down the list. Anyway, so this is our list that we use. First, you want to render your email a lot of different ways. That means previewing it in your marketing automation platform using a tool like Litmus, which will show you how things look in different clients, like Google versus Outlook. And then actually also sending an email test. I like to send to both my work email and a personal email. And I look it up on my phone, on my personal email. You want to look at it every single different way. Often the way things preview are not how they render. It's just super common. So you want to control for that as much as you can. You also want to be thoughtful about your metadata. This is a little more out of sight, out of mind, especially in tools in Marketo, where your pre-header text, for example, is really tucked away. So checklist time. Is the subject line correct? The from address and name, the pre-header text, and the audience, especially your exclusions. You want to double, triple check who you are sending this to, and more importantly, who you are not sending this to, such as clients, internal users, registrants, things like that. You also want to go through, this one sucks. You want to click every link and image in your email, including your header and footer. First of all, do all the links work? Are they all UTM'd? Why bother sending this email if we're not going to get credit? Make sure your opt-out link or your subscription center link go to those places. That is really important for GDPR and for, establishing trust in your brand. And then this one seems kind of far-fetched, but if you're including a number, you should call the number and make sure it goes somewhere. Sometimes it's an old BDR cell phone and they have no relevance to your company anymore. So check that as well. Basic sanity check. This is often the only thing people do for what it's worth. Do your spell check, do a grammar check, and ensure your days and dates match. I mess this one up all the time. Same too for time zone calculators. Make sure if you say it's, 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, how does that translate to Singapore? There's a website for that. Use it. And then look at your branding, especially if you're in an instance that has a lot of different product lines with distinct looks and feels. I work with a client that has, very color specific buttons and CTAs depending on the product that's being promoted. And then if you're using variables, dynamic content, tokens, you want to make sure you've tested them. You want to preview based on some, database information. Often will include something like first name, but our data is actually unknown, all caps for a first name. So you want to do a few examples and make sure you feel like it's reliable in terms of a field. You also want to review default values and make sure that they make sense. This is also really nice if you're working with a globalized audience, for example, where like, hey there, buddy, might work in America. It's not going to fly in Europe. So you want to be thoughtful about that. And then, yes, again, if you have personalized content that's actually being pulled in as you intended. At the very end, you're almost done here. This is where you send to a second person. You've probably made 15 changes. I know I always have to. And you get a blessing from one other person, one other fresh set of eyes, and you can send your email. Hope you learned something. We've got tons more blogs at Sponge.io. Go ahead and visit us there.